Panic mode.
We'll do Valvoline later.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I got to mention it on the show.
You should.
I have to.
Mention during this.
Look at that.
I'm going to mention it on here.
Dang straight.
Guess what? We're live.
Hey, guys, we're live, and I want to say this right off the top of the show here. This is the Ask Junior part of the show.
Presented by
to you. I can do this.
Right.
He's a trained broadcast professional.
Presented by Xfinity. I'm a customer. They're your partner for fast internet. They're also a premier partner for NASCAR. What I'm holding in my hand is an autographed photo, 8x10, of Cole Custer. It says, Dale, a day I will never forget. Thanks for all the support. First Cup win, Cole Custer. Thank you, Cole. That's really nice. I came into the podcast studio today, and this is laying right here on the desk. Man,
I love that.
Nice
a nice
autograph
surprise.
picture from that first
Former
win.
Truck Series driver here for Junior Motorsports. Maybe the only Truck Series driver.
he could have just said Dale Cole Custer, but he wrote a little note. Thank you, Cole. Yeah, Ask Junior, presented by Xfinity. Leah is here. She's got questions ready. We're creating a podcast today. We've done our ad reads. We got a couple of guests coming up later. It's going to be a good show. James Hinchcliffe is on the show as a guest today, so that should be a lot of fun talking to him. Jeff Dickerson also is coming on the show, one of the dudes at Spire. He's going to tell us a little bit about what they got going on, too. So, anyways, Leah, you ready to go with these questions? Let's get after it.
I am ready. First question is coming from Brenda Yoder, and she says, it seems the drivers were lukewarm to the choose rule after Michigan. Is it because it's new, and will we see more strategy as this plays out?
Well, when it comes to drivers, I would say that a lukewarm response is a good response because they're all miserable people. I used to be one. And, man, being a driver in the Cup Series is you're just disgruntled all the time, because you're in this never-ending quest to perform or find speed or get better. Unless you're the winner, you're pretty frustrated. So I think when you get a reasonable response or a middle-of-the-road response on something, that's probably a good thing. I think that, the one thing I like about the choose rule is that we talked about it on the race. Before, if you're a driver, okay, and man, you're third or fifth in line, right? And coming up to the start-finish line to double up, you got to go into that inside line in third place or in that inside line in fifth place, and you're like, I don't want to restart there. This is terrible. I'm having a great day, and now I've got to have this really great restart. I got to get lucky and all of the things to maintain this track position that I've worked so hard to keep and get. So that was really frustrating. Imagine, being having to restart on the outside at Martinsville or somewhere where that's, it's really not the preferred line. But you've been running great all day, but now late in the race, you're going to get this terrible preferred line and potentially lose 2-4 spots. And it's not going to reflect how well you really ran throughout the afternoon. So with the choose rule, and I know this is obvious to a lot of people, but with the choose rule, you get to put yourself where you want to. If you don't want to risk that bottom and you want to go in that top line, you might start 8th or 6th or whatever, but you're in the line you want to be in. Now, so what happens is this is really taking that excuse out of the equation. I was in the wrong line. I had to restart in the wrong line. Now the drivers are tasked with the responsibility of choosing the line they want to be in, and now you've chose that line. You've put yourself where you think you need to be for the best restart, and the pressure is on them to go out there and prove that or attain whatever it is their goal is on this restart, right? Whether it's gaining positions, maintaining the positions. It's cool. So you see the restarts are already intense. Now we're seeing them even more intense because all the drivers are trying to prove, to themselves, their team that's sitting on the pit box, that they made the right call, and they made the right choice to be in the line that they thought they needed to be in. If a driver says, imagine this, man, you're third, and you choose the outside line, and now you're restarting sixth, and you're like, hey, man, I promise you this is the right choice, and I'm going to show you on this restart that it's the right choice. That's the mentality of the driver. Whereas it was predetermined before. He had to line up wherever he was told to line up, and then he could throw up his hands and go, man, I was in the wrong line. That's why that restart wasn't good. That's all gone. Now the driver the driver's sort of in this position where he says, I'm going to pick this line, and I'm going to, I got the responsibility of the entire team to prove that this is the right choice on every single restart. So the restarts are a lot more action-packed, a lot more going on. So I like it. They're not going to use it at the road courses, probably a good thing. They're not going to use it at the plate tracks, probably a good thing. The thing about it, at the plate tracks is, and why you might not want it, is because the teams are going to try to work together, and you want to split that up. For me, the fan, you guys watching, we don't want the teams together. We don't want all the Penske cars together. We don't want all the Toyotas together. We want to break them up, right? When they're together, it gets boring because they won't pass each other. They'll ride in line. So we don't want that. And I think that's what you might get more of if you have this choose rule at the plate racetracks. Next question.
Next question's from Crusher287 on YouTube with us. Hey, Junior, do you like the new system they have to set the field? So
yeah.
The new qualifying formula.
I do. I think I didn't care about it as far as the draw because it wasn't affecting me. I'm not out there racing, and if I drew 22nd every other week, I wouldn't. I'd get a little annoyed by that. So I can see where some of the drivers were pretty frustrated with the chance of it. Right? This is not a racing and sports in general isn't a game of just chance. You want to be able to feel like you always have some control over your destiny. Always, right? So this gives the drivers some control over where they're going to start the next race. Now, as a fan and as a viewer, it's going to put the faster guys toward the front. It's going to put the better cars toward the front. If the double headers, what's kind of fun. One of the fun things about the double headers is they invert the top 20 for the second race. Kind of like that, slower cars toward the front. Now watching them guys kind of claw their way back through the field is a fun thing in that first stage. And this kind of goes against that, but again, I think that the drivers should have some control and some effort and input into where they start. If we can have qualifying, this is a good solution.
Next question coming from Ditech Cup Series. What do you expect of the Daytona road course this weekend? Calm, carnage, or a decent blend with a lot of fun racing throughout?
Well, that's hard to predict, to be honest with you. The road course, the fall off, I think, on this tire is going to be big. I think they're going to slow down quite a bit over the course of the run. The interior, it's a Daytona. It's kind of a beachy, sandy aggregate, and the interior of the racetrack. There's not a lot of road course in the Daytona Roval when you really look at it. There's a couple corners in the infield's pretty straightforward, not super technical, and then you're back out on the oval. You got the chicane on the back straightaway. You're going to have this new kink on the front straightaway that I was hoping that they weren't going to use or need, but they feel like they need it. They're worried about them, I guess, going so fast into turn one, like they're not professional race car drivers or something. But I feel like that there'll be some carnage on restarts. we had the heartburn turn at the Roval in turn 1 where Chase Elliott goes nose first into the tires and then comes back and wins the race. I think we're going to have some things that happen badly for some guys on that first turn. It's really slick, and you can kind of misjudge how much speed you can carry into that corner. It's sort of this turn that tightens as you get deeper into it, right? So you get kind of tricked into going in there a little farther than you should, and all of a sudden you come up on this tight kind of finish on turn 1, and you're going to miss that. So there'll be some tough stuff there happening. I don't know otherwise. I think that the Roval, the length of the oval portion of this road course will allow these guys kind of to get away from each other. So it's going to be a hard race it's going to be hard to predict. I don't expect it to have sort of that action-packed, wild, stuff that we've seen at the Roval. And we didn't see that every time at the Roval, but the Roval's been well received at Charlotte. So I think this will look a little different. Such a big racetrack. I think they'll get a little more spread out and get away from each other. I wouldn't be surprised if it looks a lot like what we see there with the, with the 24 hours and any other, series that uses that part of the racetrack.
One more question quickly from Charlie H. Now that you are the official It's Bow Time voice, I'm curious, what's your favorite thing on the Bojangles menu?
I saw that question on Twitter. The fries, the seasoned fries. I got, fries are pretty dang good to begin with, and you put this Bojangles seasoning on them, and they become next level. I got a bunch of, they sell, I think they sell that seasoning in little cans, and I got a bunch of that at home, and it's good on chicken or anything else you want to put it on. So I use that a lot, but the fries are my favorite. So pretty simple guy.
All right, that's all for today.
Oh, the Bowberry biscuits too. I got a bunch of those frozen in my freezer. Yeah, you can buy them, freeze them, and eat them when you want. All right, guys, I appreciate it. That was the Ask Junior portion of the show presented by Xfinity. Thank you, Cole Custer, for the autograph. Thanks, fans, for tuning in and all the great questions. I hope you guys will tune in later when this podcast is available on all our podcast platforms. Thank you, Xfinity. You guys have a great week, and it's going to be fun watching this. I'll be back in the booth for the Xfinity race. Missed a couple weeks. I told him, I said, I don't want to miss that one. That's going to be fun to call. So I'll be back in the booth for Xfinity race and the Cup race, obviously, on Sunday. Daytona road course is going to be wild.